Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Picking and Putting. We're here to talk about the 2020 Ryder Cup that's occurring in 2021, which is right up your alley. There's Liberty Bill in the Liberty Bill studios with a watermelon balloon and a beer. So he's in a Cubs hat. So he's really, or no, that's a Bears hat.
It's a Bears hat, and that's my New Mexico State University beer glass that I picked up from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Okay, so for all you people out west, just think of us. We drink your beer too. I've got all my golf equipment on. This is the future side of the President's Cup in 2022 and the previous side of the PGA in whatever year that was, 2017. Okay, well, this week we're going to talk about the Ryder Cup. As we said, we got a whole bunch of stuff, but I got a couple shout outs. Quick ones for me are Seve Ballesteros, just because it's the Ryder Cup and I like Seve. And then my two local ones. We got a local guy who's one of the vice captains, Robert Karlsson.
Yeah,
he's European Order of Merit back in the early 2000s, and he's a vice captain up there with Podrick, and golly, he had a whole bunch of vice captains: Donald, Keimer, McDowell, and Stenson.
And he's a friend of the show.
Yeah, he's a friend of the show, and he's going to come back post Ryder Cup and give us the European feedback on their side. And then also I got to do a shout out to Phil the Thrill. He'll be fun this weekend. I don't know what he'll do, but he'll do some goofy stuff because he's going to be able to be having fun and not be a player. So, and another shout out to Noah Vinyard, who's a PGA pro friend of mine. He used to work for Golf Tech, now follows a tour around, and he's going to be on the show for us post Ryder Cup.
Couple teases there.
Yeah, we got a couple of teasing PGA people coming on the show later, so stay tuned. Bill, you got any shout outs you want to do?
Yeah, I got two.
Okay,
First
shoot
one,
them.
Panthers defensive coordinator Phil Snow. So last year, for whatever reason, a lot of the Panther fans, at least the ones I see on Twitter, were ripping on this guy. He had absolutely no talent. Through 2 games, I know it's early, they are statistically far and away the best defense in the NFL. Shaq Thompson's playing the best football in his life. And some of the analysts this week have been commenting they're playing a college-style defense where they're just blitzing constantly. Quarterbacks have no idea where the pressure is coming from. He's leaving his first-round pick, J.C. Horn, and then Dante Jackson out on islands playing man coverage. It's fun as hell to watch. I hope they keep it going. Well, my other one is Justin Fields.
Oh, there you go.
I don't need to say anything besides that.
Except that he's going to be the starter in Cleveland this week, so that'll be interesting. Those Ohio State people have a tough time booing Justin Fields, even though
that's a good point.
Even though the dog pound is there. But yeah, when you were saying that, I was thinking, oh golly, it went right out of my head what we were talking about. Tell me again what it was we just
Phil Snow, Panthers defense.
Oh, the defense.
Jack Thompson.
Yeah, well, those guys, here was the deal there. One with the kid out of South Carolina playing the corner.
J.C. Horn.
Yeah,
yep.
J.C.
Joe Horn's
Horn.
son. Shout out to Joe Horn.
Yeah, and they made a deal. You know, they've proven that the Jets is the death knell for a quarterback. Because I don't know, this kid will have his ups and downs, but he's not going to be a bad quarterback. He's in the right place now.
He still turns the ball over.
Well, yeah, okay, but here's you're right. When you watch the Panthers and you've seen them, yes, they play the Jets, and yes, and then they play the Saints, but they have tremendous speed. And you're right, and they're all under 26 or something, so they're playing a college kind of game, and they're flying. Mm-hmm. And so we'll see. And as long as Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, the Panthers could be a threat. But and we'll see about your Bears this weekend with the Browns. That'll be a tough one.
Real tough matchup for Justin's first start. Was hoping it would be the Lions, but Andy Dalton got hurt, so here we go.
Well, and the problem that they have to a degree is that they're not going to play a lot of RPOs and stuff, which is what he came out of college playing. So we shall see. But anyways, well, I got list of, Well, first of all, I'll go through I want to talk about a song. Oh, we always got to do a song. And that's in deference to Mr. Smith. But the song I picked was Ole, Ole, Ole,
Yeah,
Ole.
where's your sombrero?
Ole. I know. Well, and I couldn't help it because that's for the Europeans, but it's just too much fun. And they got a group of guys. You watch for them during the shows this weekend. They dress up in the European flag, and they're called the Guardians of the Ryder Cup. And they'll be right up there on the first tee, somewhere in the first row. And you watch for them singing Ole. They'll be great. And where it comes from is obviously comes from bull rings and for an exceptional performance.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. And it became the big thing in 1982 in Spanish soccer leagues. It actually the word means old. And in Danish, it means descendant. Don't ask me why I looked that up, but that's what it means. And the fun part was, if you go back and watch the videos, since the Ryder Cup has become so big, you go back and watch the videos. In 2016, the Americans, in retort to the Europeans singing "Ole, Ole, Ole," that was, I guess, they had Arnold Palmer's bag on the first tee, and they were singing, Arnold Palmer, do, 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 Arnold Palmer, do, do, so going back and forth. The whole thing of that event is the first tee, because 30,000 people watching 12 guys play golf is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It's a made for TV event if there ever was one.
Well, yeah, for sure it's that. And it's pretty cool. We can analyze the teams or do whatever. You said you had a rant you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, I do.
You want to do that now or later?
Oh, let's save that for
okay. We'll say that towards the end.
Something to look forward to, folks.
Okay. Well, first of all, I went through the history of the Ryder Cup, and it's actually pretty cool because it's approaching 100 years. But the first one was in 1927, and it was at the Worcester Country Club in Worcester, Massachusetts. And it was started by a guy named Samuel Ryder. He's the guy who gave you that trophy. And he was an English merchant. He was a seed merchant, like an agricultural seed merchant, made his money. And he presented the trophy to the English PGA in 27. They brought it across on the boat, and they had the first one in North America. And what's interesting is, if you remember, if you'll go back and study golf, at that time, professionals they were kind of persona non grata. And professional golfers weren't allowed in the Royal and Ancient Clubhouse at St. Andrews. They weren't allowed in clubhouses of the United States. So Walter Hagen was a professional. Bobby Jones was kind of what it was, amateur golf, and that kind of transitioned. And so the initial Ryder Cup, they won 9.5 to 2.5 and over Great Britain and Ireland at that time. And Walter Hagen was the captain, and the captain for the English side was a guy named Ted Ray, who, if you'll go back, he was famous in the movie where you've got Francis Ouimet won the Open at the Country Club in Boston in 1912, 13, whatever. It was Ted Ray was one of the guys playing in the group with Francis Ouimet in the movie, if you look back for drama. And he was a famous golfer, a great golfer. And I'll fly through this. So Walter Hagen basically they did it every 2 years, and he was the American captain till basically World War II. And then it started to become a bigger deal. A lot of people were pros then. And then after World War II, it was Hogan. And this is something that's cool about Hogan. So, you know how all this stuff they do with the captains now, and you see all these guys in the clothes and they're, kowtowing and all this stuff. Back in that day, Hogan said Hogan went into the game room the first time he was the captain. He basically looked at the guys and said, I don't give a crap what you wear. Doug Sanders, you want to wear all this flowery, go for it. I don't care if you show up on time. But the one thing I do care about is I don't want to be the guy whose name goes on a losing Ryder Cup.
There you go. So wear whatever will make you a winner.
So that was Ben Hogan's thing. And really the Ryder Cup changed in 85 to 87. That was the first time that the Americans lost, and it was at the Belfry in England, and Tony Jacklin was the captain. And then they won it again at 87 at Muirfield,
Okay.
which was Jack's course, and that was when it transitioned into this big deal.
Okay.
And now for about the last 20 years, the Europeans have dominated.
Yeah.
So the last time, the big one when it really turned, well, there are a couple ones way back when. Nicholas had one where he is 69 or something. He conceded the putt that everybody said he shouldn't have to Jacklin, and they tied. And then if you tie, you retain the cup. But the famous one was at Kiowa, and it was called the War on the Shore.
Mm-hmm.
And Bernard Langer had a putt to win it of about 6 feet. And if you've ever watched Langer putt, he was in one of his 22 different putting grips that he used at that point in time. And I think he actually gripped it and held his arm or something. And he missed it, and the Americans won. And that kind of set it off to where it became this, to the point now where it's almost on the edge of obnoxiousness sometime, but
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Well, anyways, that's kind of the history of the Ryder Cup. So I was just throwing that all out there in the ole, ole, ole. So that was the best I could do on a golf song for the tournament.
Yeah, I see the connection. The U.S. is favored, so are they going to win?
I don't know. Well, what's interesting is this course. It's in the background of my picture here for you people on YouTube, but it's a Pete Dye course, and it has a links feel. It's on the edge of Lake Michigan, up north of Milwaukee. So it runs north-south along the lake, and it's going to be windy. But while it's a links kind of course, it really isn't, because it's visually intimidating, but it's still bomb it and go hit it again. So if you figure out where to hit it, it's not like playing in Great Britain where the ball rolls out and takes goofy bounces. This will be more pristine that way. Now you can hit it in some awful places. Just look behind me there. I mean, yeah, it's all sand and, wheatgrass. So I don't know. I mean, if it's the same thing they do every year, the Americans on paper they're younger, and they have all these, in the world rankings, out of the 12 guys, they probably have, I don't know, I forget the numbers, 6 and 7 of the top 10 in the world.
Yeah, they've got the hot names right now. They've got them.
But the Ryder Cup is all about the Sergio Garcias and the Ian Poulters of the world. Those are the guys that, come out, and it just flips their switch. That's why one of the things people are talking about is one of the captain's picks was leaving Reed off and picking Scotty Scheffler, who's had a great year.
Because nobody likes Patrick Reed.
But he's America's equivalent of Ian Poulter. He's Captain America. I mean, he's in your face. He loves wearing the red, white, and blue and all that. The problem he has is he got really sick right at the beginning of the playoffs, and so he missed them. He didn't get to play. He got into the final 30 by the skin of his teeth, but he didn't play in the 2 events before, so he barely got in just because he kept dropping because he wasn't playing. And he played pretty well there, but I don't know. That one may be one that's tough to pick, because he's, certain guys can play match play. It's a whole different mindset,
Yeah, I'll be curious to see guys like Justin Spieth that have struggled sometimes with the pressure on, how he does.
Well, for an example, Tiger never, if you look at his Ryder Cup record, it's not good. He only learned in later years. I mean, because Tiger was all about Tiger, and what made the Europeans so strong through the years, is the European tour. The guys all go play golf and then they go into the pub afterwards and drink beer and eat together and stay together. Well, the
Build
Americans
the
don't.
camaraderie.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Americans didn't do that. And it's only since, I don't know, um, Paul Azinger came up with this technique of putting guys together who really liked each other and not try to, I mean, the last time was when they put Tiger and Phil together and that didn't work. That's so if you think you're going to see Brooks and Bryson, ain't going to happen. That would just,
Well, unless they see a marketing opportunity, I could see them like cheersing Bud Light beers after the round and then like selling Bud Lights that way.
yeah. But the problem they have is, and I heard a talking head say this, which makes great sense. It may have been David Duval, or I can't remember Paige off the Golf Channel, but basically what she was saying, or he said, was don't think they'll do that because for one reason, it's about team. And as much as DeChambeau is about his way of doing things and his brand and lifting weights and long drive,
Protein shakes.
This is a team event. So they don't want to be out there. The best thing that he can do is be paired, go out there and win, play good golf. And then keep your mouth shut. And I think Koepka's the same way. If I look down the list, so the U.S. team is, Justin Thomas, Spieth, Koepka, DeChambeau, Schauffele, Cantlay, DJ, Finau, Berger, Morikawa, English, and Scheffler. And if you look at those, it depends on what you're playing. See, DeChambeau, I would rather have what they call 4-ball, which means both your guys go out in a foursome. You have 2 Americans and 2 Europeans, but you play your own ball. So you play your own score. And so it's best ball, but you play your own ball. The other one is alternate shots. And that is very hard, especially on a course like this, if the wind's blowing, because if I stand up and hit it in the lake, you got to play it. It's alternate. And I don't
You really need the good vibes going for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put a guy who drives the ball absolutely straight with a guy who's a great short iron player or whatever. So I look at these and I'm not sure. You might find that they put DeChambeau with like Harris English or Morikawa, somebody who they'll find out in the team rooms who gets along, and plays ping pong and whatever. And a lot of it's that technique. I mean, we know, like JT and Spieth get along. Koepka, they might put Koepka out with somebody like DJ, because DJ basically runs flat line.
Yeah, he'll play with anybody.
He can play with anybody. Now I don't know if there's any advantage to putting him out with DeChambeau, but and then on the other side, if I throw out a person I say to watch out for the kid from Norway named Victor Hoblin, because he's I just think he's always smiling and he just like he's got ice water in his veins.
Seems like it.
Yeah. And I think he'll be a great player. So it'll be fun to see. I saw the vice captains for the United States are Freddie, Phil, Furyk, and Davis. The Davis is running around there too. So
and Zach Johnson, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's out there. Midwest guy. He knows the Midwest like the back of his hand.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he's just I'm just a small town boy from what did he used to say after he won the Masters? I'm a small
from Iowa. He's a Hawkeye fan.
Oh yeah, I'm a small town boy from Cedar Rapids.
Yep.
Yeah,
wasn't good enough to play at Iowa. I had to go to Drake.
Is that right?
True story. Iowa's golf team not very good either, for the record.
Yeah, well, they blew it there, then, fellas. You should have had that guy. So well, I don't know. You got any thoughts on the Ryder Cup, or I've
Oh,
been.
that actually, the Zach Johnson sets up a nice segue here to my Iowa football rant.
Okay, go for it.
And I'm sure Zach will be repping some Tiger Hawks out there. So here we are. This team and this coaching staff is ridiculously talented. And I just pulled up the analytics from Pro Football Focus. Iowa has a 27% chance of making the college football playoff. That's tied with frickin' Clemson, fifth best in the country. This is by far in my lifetime the closest that Iowa has come to a national championship. But the one thing that's holding them back is nepotism. Do you know who the offensive coordinator of Iowa football is?
I'm going to say it's a coach's son.
Yes, the coach's son. So what qualified him for that job other than the fact that his last name is Ferentz? Well, he was the tight ends coach for the Patriots when they had Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Respectfully, you or I could coach the hell out of Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez.
Well, he just told us all you got. What do you do? I just run by everybody.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't even watch film.
I don't watch film. I just asked what's his name back there, number 12, who watches 40 hours a week, and he tells me what to do.
Exactly. So I do give our head ball coach there at Iowa, I give him credit. He's adapted. He's embracing analytics. He's being more aggressive on fourth down. They're throwing the ball more on first down. That's all great. But this quarterback we have right now, he was 19th best recruit in the country. The last few quarterbacks Iowa has had have been drafted and played in the NFL. I don't think the talent's the issue. I think the offensive coordinator is the issue. And it's the only thing holding this team back from greatness. And I just hope it doesn't end up being the issue like if we lose to Wisconsin or Penn State, because this Iowa team should go undefeated until they get to Indianapolis and play either Ohio State or Penn State at this point.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've always said you got to wait till October 1st to really know what's going down.
And it's funny you mentioned that. Iowa plays at Maryland on Friday, October 1st. That's Tua Tagovailoa's younger brother.
Yeah, as a quarterback.
Is absolutely tearing it up this year.
But the one that comes out for me, okay, so UCLA got their comeuppance. So you're left on the West Coast once again with Oregon. We'll see. They did beat Ohio State. But what we learned with Ohio State is they're suspect on defense. And while I think their offense will continue to evolve and be first class, really good, I envision that this is the year that the team up north gets them.
They're due.
And I'm an Ohio boy, folks. Sorry, but
they're statistically due.
Or Penn State, but Penn State has to come to Columbus. But the reason I say that is from Michigan's perspective, he's finally got a quarterback, and what he's got as an offense is run, and then run some more. And if he does that against Ohio State, he'll kill them.
That's what Oregon just did. Yep.
Yeah. And so that was the roadmap there. But of course, that's 10 weeks in the future. So a lot changes, a lot develops. The other one that was an eye opener for me is Alabama. They won, and they won in a tough place on the road, but you said, okay, well, maybe somebody could beat him. Now, if that's there, it would be Georgia or Texas A&M, but somebody has to beat him twice for them not to be there.
Well, they could lose in the SEC title game to Florida. This year, the national writers have been saying it's more wide open than if you go back to 2017 when you had, I think, what was it, Georgia, Oklahoma, Clemson, and Alabama, and everybody had a loss. I think one of those teams might have had 2 losses. So this is a great year for an Iowa, a Cincinnati, a BYU.
And understand that, and we live in that part of the world. Clemson is it's just like they shouldn't have rankings till this week, in all honesty, till the 3rd week of September, because Clemson was ranked on history, just like Alabama is, Ohio State is. That's how it works. And they are 3-0, but no, they're 2-1, and their offense is totally suspect. And they barely beat Georgia Tech at home. It was 10-3. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say North Carolina will significantly beat Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and it looks like
and so I think that's an eye opener right there. You're going to go, okay. Now I don't know. The problem with the ACC is you've got North Carolina and you've got Clemson, who both, Clemson lost to Georgia, so they haven't lost in conference. Florida State's not there. Miami's not there. Duke's not
it's
there.
bad. It's a bad conference outside of Clemson and North Carolina.
Well, here's the one there that you don't know that could be better than served like every 5-6 years is Wake.
Yeah. They have a big game Friday though against Virginia.
So, you never know about that. But so there's in the Southeast Conference, so Alabama's got to travel to Texas A&M.
Yeah, Alabama's going to lose a game, no doubt in my mind.
And I don't know who Texas A&M's played. I think they're undefeated, I guess, at this point in time.
Yeah, they have Arkansas this week though, so they could go down at any point. But Clemson, it's weird. I thought DJ Uiagalelei, I thought he was going to be the real deal. But if you look at yards per attempt, he's 96th in the country. And Spencer Petras, Iowa's quarterback, is 97th. That's just shocking. If DJ Uiagalelei figures it out in the next 6 weeks, everything else about Clemson is fine. It's just the quarterback.
Can you tell me something? Do you have that written on a card? Do you have that like a TV guy? Because there's no way I could say that.
Uiagalelei. I think I practiced it last year because I knew we were going to talk about it on the Golf Shop radio show. Shout out to the Golf Shop.
Well, there you go. Golf Shop radio show. Well, yeah, I'm good for you for being able to say that. So
Uiagalelei.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It kind of rhymes with ole, ole, ole.
Yeah, ole, ole, ole. Well, it's like watching the game last night. It's RELAX. You got 17 weeks, folks, and especially in the NFL. But the deal with those guys is that's all about injury, more so than college. Pro games all about who gets hurt.
I tell you, it was great Saturday night having that whiteout. I had that on my main TV. I had the Carolina and Clemson game on my other TVs. But that whiteout, that crowd there, 100,000 people, it was just great to see that atmosphere.
Did you watch the whole thing about how they started that? Some guy, they started it just to get, it was an alumni or something, and they started just to get interest or something, and it caught fire on the radio, and everybody did it. They're talking about doing it. They don't do it every game because then it's not special. It's kind of like Notre Dame wearing green, So they're gonna do it. I think they're probably gonna do it again. I think they have Michigan at home.
Oh, because they usually do it once a year, only for a night game.
Yeah, well, these guys said you better do it for Michigan. They said maybe so. The coach, why not?
The atmosphere it was just. I'll never take that for granted again.
Well, hey,
being able to see that atmosphere.
Speaking of atmosphere, that would be one I would be fun to be back in your hometown. So this weekend, the 12 noon game.
Oh yeah,
Camp Randall comes to the shore of the lake, different lake site, and Notre Dame. And I think Notre Dame will get whooped. I just think I haven't trusted they've snuck by everybody. They're good and the coach is good. But think about this. The quarterback for Notre Dame played for 2 or 3 years for Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And
Notre Dame, I think, needs to go with their younger quarterback. But I agree with you. I like Wisconsin in that game.
Well, it's kind of,
Wisconsin's 6-point favorites. I like them more than 6.
Well, it's a neutral field too, basically. Although they probably sold 50-50 on tickets. Although I don't know how that works.
That will be interesting to see because there's a lot of Notre Dame and Wisconsin alums in Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
I wonder though, some of the big money Wisconsin people might be at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, that would be a toss-up. Although
big weekend for Wisconsin sports. The Brewers are going to the playoffs.
Well, I think the Wisconsin Notre Dame game's at noon. So anybody of that ilk probably could take a speedboat, speedboat from
I
Soldier
bet
Field.
someone is.
Oh, somebody's probably got a hydrofoil or a helicopter. That's the kind of thing Phil would do. If it was Arizona State playing there, Phil would ride a helicopter over, watch the game, and ride back and land on the 10th fairway or something. I still remember he did that at Phoenix when he went over to the Super Bowl. Which,
I remember that
over in Glendale, because that's on the northwest side of Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that would be a great sports day though, to basically use the Wisconsin Notre Dame game at Soldier Field as your tailgate for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, how cool would that be? Yeah, you could pull out that beer you were drinking early there. You just have to pace yourself.
Yeah, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated out there.
Stay hydrated. Well, that's the whole deal about the Ryder Cup. Now I got a buddy who lives in Columbus who'd gone to the President's Cup, and I think the Ryder Cup had been there too. But he said the problem was they really do get 35,000 people. And think about it. You got 24 men playing golf, and they're not all playing at the same time. So and half the matches can end before they get to like 16, 17, or 18. So you either go out in the middle course and just say, I'm going to sit here and drink beer and watch them go by.
That's what you do. That's definitely what you do.
You fight one day to get on the first tee. I've been watching that when you see the stadium set up, that's what they're going to build at Quail Hollow in Charlotte for the President's Cup. So they've actually had to put in infrastructure. And by that, I mean around the first tee, underneath the ground, they put in power, plumbing, so that they can build the building and have indoor restrooms and, electricity and air conditioning, all that stuff. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's a temporary structure, that'll be taken down. But you when you look at the money's not an object when you look at the stands for this setup. But I'm just saying, you're not going to be able to see a lot when I don't know.
Yeah, I would just sit at like the 5th or 6th hole, get a nice seat within view of the approaches to the green where you can still see the green, bring a long chair and have a bunch of beers. That's what I would do. I think.
Oh yeah. And on Sunday, what I'd do is pick a hole like 14, 13, where you'd see pretty much everybody go through, wear a thing in my ear to listen to the radio or watch whatever they'd like to do. And then you're right, go up to 18 and whoever won, watch them throw champagne all over each other,
Yeah. So
that would be cool. So it would be fun. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite things. And and our professional football team plays tomorrow night, so that won't be an issue on the weekend. And your football, when does Iowa play this weekend?
They play Colorado State, so I'm taking it. We're gonna go out to local fest.
Well, I mean, what
taking
time?
Advantage of. I think it's like 3:30.
Oh, yeah.
Not a priority.
Yeah, not if they're playing somebody you don't care about. Well, I got. Let's see here. I only got one quote for the day. You got anything else you want to talk about, Billy?
Oh, no.
I'm flying in and out of the screen here. Okay.
I think we figured out the best tailgate for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you need a Ryder Cup. Only you need one that has your stuff in it, the beer. I got a quote from Sevy. I don't know why I got Sevy, but I figure Ryder Cup, and I'll do this for the Europeans. He says, if I could do it in Sevy's accent, which I can't do. I can speak a little Spanish now, but I can't do it in his accent. But he says, I look into the eyes. I shake their hand. I pat their back. I wish them luck. But I'm thinking, I'm going to bury you.
That's
he
incredible.
He would do the stuff where he would, drop his glove while you were hitting, he played mind games.
Yeah.
He was the supreme mind game player. I forget who it was, Azinger or somebody back came to blows playing him way back when. He did that stuff. He was right up there. Well, you have a good weekend. Oh yeah. Happy anniversary to Bill and his wife, Catherine. And you guys have a good weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you again. Everybody, we enjoyed having you here on Picking and Putting. You can see us on on YouTube and listen to us on all the platforms.
Oh yeah, subscribe. Smash that subscribe button, as the kids say.
Come on, we got to increase our numbers, folks. We're trying to grow it here, so we'll keep it coming at you. We loved having you. We'll see you next time. See you later, Billy.